If you want to create a new website portfolio or want to update your current one or simply are looking for inspiration, this video is for you. In fact, we're going to analyze five website portfolios of amazing designers and studios so that you can get some insights and inspirations as to how to create a really good looking experience. Now, I'm also curious to hear your opinions on them, so feel free to leave them in the chat. And before we get started, I want to remind you that I recently launched a free course on how to get started in UI UX design. So if you're interested in getting started in this career in 2022, feel free to check it out. And now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So the very first portfolio design is by Kirifuda. And as you can see, we were greeted with this big header, which looks amazing. I really like the differences in the fonts between the make and the awesome text. And as we scroll down, you can see this animation, which looks surreal. I really love it. And essentially, as you scroll, you're going to be able to see all these different projects and look at these hover effects. They simply look amazing. I really like the animation. Even if you scroll back, like you can see all of these text and all of this just looks really cool. Looks like a TV in some sorts, kind of gets you that vibe. And if we click on one of these projects, you can see how I can literally scroll through the entire project. Here's the main big image, and this is really creative. You can see that the cursor is now a close icon. So if I click anywhere, I can pretty much close, and it's going to redirect directly onto the very next project. So this is very smart and I would say unusual, but from a UX perspective, in my opinion, it works fantastic. So let's just move on. There's so many projects, so many things that you might look at. And essentially, let's now go to the About page. And everything is in some way unique. Every page is unique, but it does have an element of consistency. So you can see how the fonts are consistent throughout the experience and even the general feeling overall. And as we scroll down, we can see a glimpse of the studio itself. So this is pretty cool. I really like the environment, and even if I were to hire this studio remotely, I really like the fact that I have an image in my mind as to who I would be collaborating with. This is really cool. Now let's move on to the very next portfolio, and this is a portfolio of Umray, which is a developer inside, as you can see. And as we scroll down, we can see this really cool animation with this really nice photo. And here the focus and the bulk of their services, which is always important and useful to clarify. So they offer front-end development, publishing, motion graphic, branding, UI, UX. And as we scroll down, we can see the actual main projects. Now I really like this hover effect. That gives me an insight as to what the project is going to be about, since the text itself might not be enough, or a visual is always good in my personal opinion. And yeah, let's go to the very first one, which is the coding book. So we're greeted with this image, which my personal opinion looks very clean. And as we scroll down, really like these transition effects and also this title, which is descriptive of the project. Now we can see more of these clean shots. This looks really cool, and I really like this transition, which almost looked like a water blur. It kind of reminds me of something around those lines. And we can see more projects directly from here. And the whole experience is pretty smooth. It's very clean, very minimal, and overall it's a very unique approach to web design. Now let's move on to the very next website, which is the website of Richard Sancho, who is a design director. And I really like this right off the bat, these gradients, the way that this animation is smoothly blending in, and just a really nice first impression. Here we can see the publications, homepages, different projects, and essentially let's go ahead over here. Let's click on one. I also like that hover. Don't know if you noticed it. I went through that real quick, and as this is downloading, is basically loading up. We can see now the actual project, and this looks really clean. Really like this design overall. I'm really fond of this minimal style, and I also like this animations and the way that this is all unfolding, and it's a really clean and nice way of presenting the project. Also this, I really like this transition and this contrast between the mobile device and these actual pieces of data. So overall, very clean. I like the call to action, similarly to the other websites of the next project at the very end of this current one. And yeah, overall looking really cool. Now let's move on to Kazuki Noda's portfolio, and we're going to turn sound off simply because we're not going to be able to record it from this video the way that's set it up. And right off the bat, we can see these letters, which this looks really cool. On hover, you can literally like move them around. Here we have different works, I assume, and this layout is really original. This layout is really something new to me, and something I've never seen before. So definitely a really cool and interesting choice to stand out of the box. Also, over here we can see the different pieces of the design project, and yeah, overall this looks really clean. I like the way it's laid out, and just a great first impression of the website overall. Now we're going to move on to the very last one, which is from Virgil Guinard, and this is a bit of a different type of work, since if you click on the about, you can see that he's a photographer, and I just wanted to include this website in because I think it looks stunning, and I really like this idea of the hover effects that basically show you the images, but once it's not hovered, you're just going to see these gradients. I just really love this concept, and the fact that it's also kind of giving a hint of the photo, at least the color theme. And yeah, generally speaking, I think it's a very interesting approach and something that we can definitely all get inspired from. So really hope you enjoyed this video. I want to remind you that on my YouTube channel, you're going to find over 500 videos on UI, UX design, web design, and many software tutorials. So feel free to check it out if you're interested in that, and I'll see you in the next video.